Yeah, man. Let's kill that bass head. Alright, let's do this. I'm on the air, we got this pockets flow. It's me and Tony on the mics, we gotta let you know of current events, little gaming, sprinkle in some entertainment. We stay humble, but our moms still think we're famous. Turn up the bass and baby, maybe let that magic flow. Our spoken word is all the things you really wanna know. Having a good time on the show, T-Bows and Matty G. Tune in and hit subscribe and join us on the FAPs.
Welcome back, everyone, to the Freaking Awesome Podcast. I'm your host, Anthony Bowes, and sitting two over from me, of course, is the return of Matty G. How are you doing today, buddy?
Oh, not too bad, buddy. You know, just hanging in there. I'm all vaccinated and educated and
loosely
educated. And
another day in quarantine paradise, right?
Absolutely. And summer's here, so lots of barbecue, and I'm looking forward to a good summer, a better summer than last. So
that's amazing. Well, yeah, I don't think it gets any worse than last, but knock on wood, because we don't want to jinx anything. So.
Yeah, fuck 2020.
Worst year ever. Definitely.
It has been the worst year ever. Oh my god.
It has. Now, without further ado, as it looks like my camera is pausing out here, hopefully everybody can still hear me. We, of course, have our wonderful guest today, and her name is Amanda Roska O'Connor, aka Arrow. Amanda, thank you very much for joining us today.
Thank you so much for having me, guys. I really appreciate it.
It's wonderful. We're happy to have you, and we can't wait to talk about a little bit about you and some of your music ambitions, amongst other things. But before we go, Matty G, do you want to start off with the news?
Absolutely, happy to start the news today. So this is a bit of a follow-up for our listeners out there and watchers. We touched on this story back in March about this woman who got lost for a few weeks in some storm drains and some sewer systems. And anyways, long story short, she's done it again. So, I think we lost Tony there. He'll be back.
I just saw him go out. He's not there anymore. Okay.
Yeah, he's got Wi-Fi issues. We'll let him sort it out.
All right.
So funny story. So this woman was lost in the sewer systems for 3 weeks, naked, and basically they found her. Everything was okay. She was fine. So reports from Grand Prairie police officers say they spotted the woman once again as she had slipped into the storm drains. And disappeared for a while. So they were able to
this is a storm. How does that happen? Like, do you just casually slip into a storm drain?
That's literally how it read.
Was she trying to go swimming or something?
Maybe.
It's really, this is really funny because again, just to interject slightly, of course, this was originally in Florida and now it's in Texas, which is like, okay, there's a big distance here, so clearly this woman's got a thing for storm drains.
That's
this was her vacation storm drain.
Okay, switch it up. Her drain away from home.
So
continue.
So apparently, when her family found out that she had done this again. They dropped off bags of food and Gatorade into manholes in an attempt to lure her out or replenish her stamina. One of the two. So she was pulled back out. So last time back in March, just to kind of iterate on what we had talked about then, is that her excuse was when she finally found was that she was looking for a boyfriend's house and got lost. So that was the story before.
Lost in a storm drain?
Yep.
Yes. Yeah. She was swimming in a canal not far from her house. And originally the story was she was swimming and she found a door. And then she was curious where that door led to. And it led to a tunnel. And that tunnel led to more tunnels. And then eventually
she led to a storm drain?
3 weeks in the sewer system. Yeah.
She survived 3 weeks?
Yes.
How'd she drink water? Was she drinking the That's
Yep.
Yeah, we don't know. We don't know. And what's even more peculiar originally is they didn't say how she lost her clothing because she was wandering naked through the storm drains.
a brave woman there, I guess.
Yeah,
Wow. Brave.
absolutely.
Yeah. We were assuming maybe she ate her clothes, but we don't really know.
Well, there definitely was drug use involved. So a little bit of that and a little bit of mental illness.
That explains it, I guess.
Yep. So anyways, there are hotlines, folks. Please don't climb into storm drains.
Yeah, please don't do that. That's a little dangerous, I guess. I don't know.
Needless to say, of course, she has been found. They did bait her out, and she's been sent for mental evaluation. So, which maybe should have been done after the first attempt, but clearly the second needed help.
They got her out of there with little bits of crack cocaine, and they just kind of led it into a police car, and she just kind of. Well, no, I'm kidding. I don't know if that's what happened.
Nice.
Yeah, so I saw that as well, and I got super excited. And I was just like, "Oh my god!" We always love when we get some crazy articles and then hear the follow-ups afterwards. So
yeah, I mean, she's really living on the edge.
Well, I saw another follow-up from one of our March articles actually as well, and it was the guy who married the sex doll, and then they got divorced and all that stuff. And the article was so short, I didn't put it in, but basically it just said that he's looking for love in other places now. He's willing to go outside of of his plastic comfort zone. So good for him. Good for him.
Yeah, I mean that's nice.
We find the most fucked up news, Arrow. You're in for a ride.
I mean, it keeps things interesting though, I guess. So it's it's fun, better than boring news, right?
Exactly.
You would have got me about the whole the sex doll thing. Is I wonder if she divorced him because she was broken first, right? He had to send her back to repair.
The doll was broken.
Yes.
Yeah.
He broke.
We didn't Google how. We were afraid of our search results.
We were afraid to find out what we.
Yeah, I'd be a little scared to know how he broke that down.
Yeah. I don't think it was a manufacturer.
It wasn't on a swing set.
Oh no.
Oh goodness. Yeah. All right. So that's good. We had similar articles, but the next article I had was in regards to a drug dealer who was busted in Liverpool. Did you hear about this?
No, this is new.
I hear about it.
What was really interesting. It's kind of goes up with one of those Darwin Awards, but at the same time, I was really interested on how they were able to convict this guy. So apparently, the British detectives had tracked down Carl Stewart, who, after identifying his fingers, his fingerprints from a photograph, and what happened was they've been trying to get this drug dealer for quite some time, and they've been watching a kind of like the encrypted message boards that are out there, and eventually this guy had popped up, and he's a huge lover of cheese. So at some point he posts about cheese, and he's got a picture of the cheese from Marks and Spencer's in his hand, but his hand clearly showed very detailed fingerprints. So watch your high def cameras, I guess, when you're a criminal. So someone had decided to run the fingerprints from the tips of his fingers on the image and found out his name, was able to track it back, and they busted him. And he got
insane.
12 years.
Crazy.
Yeah, 12 years in prison.
So they ran it on a picture?
They ran it off a photograph.
I didn't know you could do that. That's crazy.
Yeah. And I think it was just happened to be the way the lighting was hitting this picture and the fact that it was a very high detailed camera that you could actually see the line of his fingers. So I don't know if because they don't actually state when they did arrest him, whether they reprinted him, because I would think from a photograph, I don't know how they would be able to bring that to court and prove that was actually him without reprinting his hand.
Yeah, couldn't it be really anybody? I mean,
yeah, right. It could have been any hand holding cheese. It just happened to go under his username, and that's eventually how they tracked him back from his name, address, and IP address.
Who? My question is, who is just tracking people's fingerprints from cheese photos?
Like, who's the person that called him?
Someone
I have
must
to
be
know.
really bored if they have the time to even just do that. They must
Well,
Yeah.
what is actually so the British police had actually infiltrated this encrypted messaging platform for quite some time, and they were actually
Oh.
looking for a
Oh,
lot of other things because apparently not only were the drug deals going down,
like
but
the
also
dark web
gun
kind of
running.
thing.
Yeah, exactly. So there was gun running and all these other things. They had arrested 3 other people, and one of them who had sold almost $500,000 worth of guns on this.
Oh.
No, did you hear about like the sex trafficking on like different sites like Wish and stuff? But they rename it like feathered pillowcases.
Wasn't it on Wayfair? I saw
Wait,
this.
oh yeah, it was Wayfair.
Yeah.
That's what it
They
was.
had,
That's what it was.
Wasn't it like a $2,000 dresser, or was like some closet, or no, it was like $25,000 for like
It was like a secret.
like a secret
Weird.
dresser, or it was like a closet or some like type
Yeah.
of box thing that they were selling it, and people were like, why is that $25,000? Or it was like some astronomical number that didn't seem right, and people were like, are they selling children or like people on that
Right.
site? It's like,
Well,
really?
after that, it disappeared, and apparently, and obviously, I didn't find any
That's so
sources to back this up, so it's only speculation. But they said that it was basically they were selling they were code name items for illegal activities.
Okay.
Yeah, I get that, because even on Amazon, I think they like sell creepy things on Amazon.
When you see things go on sale or inflated, it does. I'm always curious as to why.
Yeah,
And you
like,
should be.
weird things I've seen for like a crazy amount of money, like a hat for like $10,000 or something. It's like really
Yeah,
odd.
Yeah.
that ain't Louis Vuitton.
Yeah, that's not no.
That's great.
Oh my God. All right. What else do you have, Manny?
So this one's pretty good too. Speaking of Darwin Awards, so I don't know if you saw this one, but drunk Wisconsin man stumbles into Airbnb filled with cops. Did you hear about this one?
No.
Okay, cool. So a drunken Wisconsin man was lucky to only end up in handcuffs and not suffer a worse fate when he ended up in an Airbnb rented out by 3 police officers. The 19-year-old allegedly was so intoxicated that he broke in, passed out in one of the rooms in the wrong house. The officers, who were in Montana's Flathead County, were in Milwaukee to attend a police training program, and they decided to post this guy on TikTok, getting hundreds of thousands of views. So Deputy Pasola heard a strange noise around 2:30 a.m. He said he thought it was one of the other officers, so just went back to sleep. Hours later, in the early morning, they found the man and kind of basically arrested him, but informally they decided not to press charges. But and so they posted on TikTok, apparently this dude decided to crash with us last night, which is funny because it's literally the only Airbnb downtown Milwaukee. So
Oh my God.
they released him, slap on the wrist, but wow, what
What kind of luck is that? Imagine
Yeah.
all the places he could have gone, he just happens to end up there. I mean, what kind of luck is that? That's
right?
like what I would have, honestly. I have
Yeah.
such bad luck.
I think that's karma out there, right? It's just guiding you
Or
towards
karma. Or karma could be
yeah.
Yep.
It's just like, you need to stop drinking, and we're gonna give it to you the most funny way
Yep.
possible.
Mm.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah, I thought that was pretty good. Do you have any more, or did I kind of we
I
touched
do.
on the
No,
same
actually,
one?
there was a couple, actually, a little bit short. I don't know. Had you heard about the one true Josh?
No.
So COVID, of course, has gotten to a lot of people, and one of them was in regards to a young man whose name was Josh Swain, and he was curious how many other Josh Swains were there out in the world. So he hit the message boards and he hit Facebook, and he basically created a group trying to find other Josh Swains. Eventually, more people started joining this page, and in a joke, he decided to say, hey, let's all get together at an undisclosed location and we'll battle it out to see who's the one true Josh. Now, he randomly put out some
It
coordinates.
sounds
And-
familiar.
And it was in the news actually a couple times, and they had basically had decided that all these people were going to get together and fight to say who the main Josh was. So when they went to find the coordinates, he'd found out it was the middle of a farmer's field. So they decided to take it somewhere more public. Of all the Joshes from the message board, only one other Josh Swain had basically gone to this. Now, it turned out it was in Alaska. and they is where they ended up meeting, and they ended up arming themselves with pool noodles in the whole point to basically wail into each other until one person submitted. Now, the original poster of the True Josh was named The Josh Swain. Now, originally the joke was everybody else had to change their name if he won.
Really?
Yeah. No.
Did he win or no?
So he did win. He did win the competition, yes. But it really sparked a lot of interest. So he was doing a lot of charity work. He said, "Oh, we'll raise money for charity for this event." And now only 2 people originally showed up, but then when more people from public started seeing this, they opened up to anybody with the name Josh. And I guess there were like hundreds and hundreds of Joshes that showed up to this thing, all coming with like Star Wars outfits and like costumes and like pool noodles that were attached to drills so that they would be like motorized. And people went all crazy. But the funniest thing is, one, they ended up raising $10,000 for like a children's charity.
Oh, it turned out to be something good though.
It was really cool. And number 2, the person who won the Josh competition, so the second part of this, ended up being a 5-year-old boy who won. And he was named the Josh. Yes.
That's amazing.
So
dude, that's an awesome story.
That's it turned out to be something really sweet.
Yeah, and then everybody ended up having such a really good time. They basically stated that they were going to do this again, and they're going to choose a new name every year and try to do this annual competition to basically raise money for other charities.
That's so sweet.
I hope they do mine. I actually joined a Facebook, because my full name's Matt Guy, and so I joined a Facebook group called We Are Matt Guy, and there's like 200 people in it, and
that's a lot of people with that.
Yeah. So maybe we could do it.
Yeah, I think you should.
Cool.
Yeah, I think you would. I'm very unlucky to have a last name like Bose, so there's not many of us out there. I know there's definitely one other Anthony Bose out there. So
well, there's 200 Matt Guys, but there is only one Matty G.
Yeah. So, and you know what I actually loved about the whole article? It was labeled "There can be only one."
Yeah, that's great.
Like the whole
Highlander.
Yeah, exactly. So
I was like, what the hell are you nerds talking about?
No, I like listening. Cool.
Awesome. So another just quick follow-up. This one was just a very quick article, and it was super funny. It was basically about a guy who was he was out with his brother-in-law, and they were walking their dogs along the waterfront, and his one dog went missing, and obviously caught a scent and went down the thing. So he gets up on top of the water's edge and starts calling out the dog's name. Well, everybody started laughing around him. There was people everywhere who were laughing. He's thinking, these people are super insensitive. What's going on? It wasn't until the dog came back when people came up and said, "Hey, we thought you were a little bit crazy because you're standing by the river's edge screaming out river." Because that was the name of the
river.
Yeah. So people that were picnicking and started camping around this thing thought this guy was just a lunatic standing on the river's edge calling out river for like 40 minutes.
See, if that was in New York, that would be totally normal. People would just be like, "Oh, it's a crazy guy."
So it's a crazy guy.
So we see all these types of people all the time. So if someone's screaming for no reason, it's like, "Oh, that guy's screaming. Okay, go on with your day." But in other states, people think, it's New York for you.
Yeah, I think that there's 2 lessons to learn from that, though. When you've lost your dog, approach a few other people first to see if they've seen your dog. And secondly, be careful what you name your dog, right? I mean, just imagine if you'd name your dog something really crazy. And then, you're standing out there screaming, like, who knows? You could name your dog
Hooter Spatula.
Right? Yeah, exactly. And you're out there screaming it in public. So, yeah.
Hooter Spatula.
Yep. Exactly. All right. So that's the news today, everybody. Let's turn things over to Arrow. Thank you very much for joining us today.
Thank you.
And putting up with our craziness, or at least.
No, it's interesting. I'm an observer. I just love to observe conversation. So it's interesting,
Yeah. So we were very, very fortunate to, of course, get a couple clips of your music, which was absolutely very, very happy to listen to this. Now, the album that you have put this out has not actually released quite yet, correct?
No, not yet. July. July it's gonna
In
be.
July. Perfect.
Mhm.
So now have you found anything? Well, I should ask this first. Have you found there being a lot of issues because of COVID lockdown for the recording, or is that
Oh
actually helped
yeah,
kind of
definitely.
fuel
Mhm.
your time to be able to dedicate towards it?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I would say COVID probably put me back like a year and a half.
Oh wow.
So yeah, I really lost about a year and a half because I mean the album was kind of done when I was around 19 actually. The album was
Okay.
done around when I was like 19. And when I was 20, we were still kind of just fixing things, doing a couple of new songs, and then COVID happened. So
Hmm.
we went into lockdown, and honestly, I didn't feel comfortable releasing an album during a pandemic. I just didn't feel like it was the right time. I just thought, so many people are suffering. So many people are going through such horrible times. I mean, I just don't think it's really the right time to. I wouldn't even feel like comfortable promoting music and stuff like that during a pandemic. So I think now that it's kind of coming to somewhat of an end, I hope, I'm going to put the music out in July.
Good. Well, there's a little bit of light on the horizon with all the
Yeah.
vaccines that are out there, and
Yeah. Hopefully people
are at
are
least
getting it.
opening up a little bit in the U.S. I mean, unfortunately, Canada is still a little bit shut down. I think a
I
little
know,
lower
it's
numbers than they.
terrible.
Yeah, but and it's really interesting because a lot of artists out there were really upset because of the amount of time it stopped with road time and show times and trying to get out there in the public.
I know,
And
no
you kind of
shows, no
yeah,
shows.
and you kind of see the flip side. You're kind of like, well, there's a lot of horrible things going on. Why take away from that? And also at the same time, with that much suffering and panic and everything, people couldn't totally get in and maybe potentially enjoy the music that you're putting out. Now,
Yeah, that's true too.
now you do have like a few songs that I want to say they kind of talk about things that people can at least relate with, right?
Of course, yeah, I think so.
Trouble and yeah,
Yeah, Damaged.
exactly.
Yeah, the album is called Damaged. So I mean, I feel like the majority of people could relate to Damaged.
Yes, for sure. I mean, we've just kind of gone through Mental Awareness Month, and I think it's
Yeah,
maybe it would
mental
have been a
health.
very good time to release during that.
Yeah,
But
it's extremely important. Mental health is extremely important. It needs to be talked about more, I think.
yes, yeah, we're both Maddie and I both have had a little things that we can relate to on that front, and it's definitely important for people out there to if you are not feeling
I killed a guy.
but
No, I'm just kidding.
No.
I just fucking with
Wow,
you.
I was like, really dark turn.
No.
I was like, okay. Thanks for sharing.
It's funny, Tony. I think it mentions that I think everybody goes through something at some point. It's just it's still in a lot of places a taboo subject. So sometimes I think a lot of people suffer alone, not realizing that there's avenues and support mechanisms, and that other people actually go through the same shit. They just don't talk about it.
Yeah.
100%. That's actually kind of why I wrote a lot of the songs on the album, was because there was times where I felt like I was going through something and I was completely alone and no one felt the same way, which I know is so not true. But like sometimes when you're dealing with things, especially like depression or anxiety, stress, you feel like you're kind of in it alone. But I feel like music is a great way to kind of bring people together and show people that, you know what, you're not alone. Like we all go through these things. We all deal with these things. And it's kind of a good outlet to just bring people together and connect people. So
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, it's good.
Well, that's good. Now, during all of this, of course, you've been studying as well, correct? You're looking to get into the acting field.
I am. Yeah, I went to Lee Strasberg for a little bit when I was in high school. And then when I graduated high school, I did not want to go to actual college. I was like, I'm not going to real college. It's not for me. And honestly, it's a waste of money because, I mean, at least for me, it's a waste of money because I just knew I wouldn't do well. So I went to Lee Strasberg instead. And I did that for a few years. And I'm hoping to go to Lee Strasberg in West Hollywood in California. Even if it's just for like a year. But I feel like you can never stop learning, so it's always good to just keep learning and brushing up your skills a bit.
Yeah.
So hopefully I'll be able to do that too soon.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, a lot of people say, and I think we had actor Kim Coates on not too long ago, and we were saying that when people want to get into film,
Mhm.
it's great, but you got a lot of takes, so there's some lenience in there. But when you get into
Yeah,
stage acting, it's so much more difficult. And if you can
it's so
basically
difficult.
master a stage acting, then actually getting out on the big screen is quite easy, right? So
Yeah, it's going to school, I learned that it's really hard. Like, I feel like a lot of people think, because when you go to a movies, I guess people think it's kind of easy or it's all fun all the time,
mm,
but it's really not. Like, acting is not easy in any way, shape, or form. At least that's what my experience was. Seeing people, and because it's an emotional roller coaster,
yeah,
it's really emotionally draining. So I
mm,
feel like if you're willing to go through all of the emotions and go through all of that stuff, then it's well worth it. But I mean, it's definitely it's a hard profession. People don't realize that, but
it is, it
it is.
is.
It
And
is.
you're basically expected to be at the crack of dawn somewhere. You put in
Oh
really,
yeah.
really long days, and you've got a timeline of a multi-million dollar
Yeah,
budget to
you
squeeze into
do.
about 4 or 5 weeks, right? So it's very
Yeah,
people.
so I mean, it's not easy because like I said, it's a lot of waiting around. You have to memorize, but also it's important to stay in character. I mean, that's at least what I learned with like method acting and stuff. It's kind of you learn to really become the character and put pieces of yourself into that character. So, like I said, I think the worst part is it's just very, very emotionally draining,
Mhm.
on you because you go through so much when you
Yeah.
act.
Yeah, especially for method actors, if you really get into your character,
Yeah,
right? I mean, that could be. I mean, some people said that was one of Heath Ledger's downfalls was that he
I
got so
know.
into
That's
the
so
Joker
sad.
character that it actually was messing with his mind, amongst other things, right? So
Oh, yeah, because you focus so much on that other character and you kinda really it could get scary because you get into that mindset that is so different than your mindset, and you kinda sometimes get stuck in it, and it's kind of hard to come out of it. Because I even experienced when I was in school, I would just, like, go up to some people because I was new, and I'd be like, "Oh, hey, what's up? How you doing? Like, what class?" And people would be, like, so mean sometimes or be like, "Don't speak to me," or, like, but they were in character, though, like, they were in their character, so when you're there, I guess people like to stay in their character a lot, so you never know what character you're talking to.
yeah,
So,
for sure, for sure.
right, it's like that.
Definitely. And one of the other things that I wanted to ask you, and I apologize, apparently I'm having some camera issues today, is as a singer, though, do you find potentially roles for you might be in like voice acting? Have you ever thought about that route?
Yeah, I not really with voice acting. I don't really think I've thought about it much, but I would be open to it. Anything acting or music, I would totally be open to. Just to give it a try.
Yeah,
Mhm.
well, I think it's quite interesting because they've got, I mean, so many roles now are going either in the animated way or, there's a lot of foreign films where they're looking for, American or English
Yeah.
actors to be able in. And the end of,
Mhm.
I mean, voice acting is kind of like a new age because you can
It
be
is.
something
Mhm.
way much more than you could be in a regular movie, right? I mean, maybe you're going to play a role of an alien or something, and it's kind of
You
neat.
never know. The opportunities are endless. I mean, I always say with acting, anything is possible. You could be anything. You could do anything. It's just such a cool world.
Mhm,
You know?
mhm. So do you have a particular, like, dream role that you're hoping for, or
That's a good question. I don't know. I think I would really like to take on a role of possibly playing somebody else that like already existed, like maybe like for instance, just like a Marilyn Monroe or something like that, or something that had to do with someone else's story. Because I just think those types of movies are so cool because you really put yourself in someone else's shoes,
yeah,
and just learning about someone else's life and kind of experiencing what they experience. I just think is so cool, and it's just really interesting. So I would definitely maybe love to be able to play somebody else someday that actually was like a real person, but
for
you know.
sure. for sure. Actually, and if everybody looks up in that upper little left-hand corner there, you'll see that we did drop that image of you.
Yeah, that was my yeah.
Your Marilyn Monroe, which I thought actually looked really fantastic.
Yeah, that was for
Spot
acting.
on.
Yeah. It was for acting, yeah. I was just like, you know what? I want to do a couple of acting pictures, you know, and it was fun.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
That's
that's
cool.
the thing, right? With the role, you really have to kind of be excited and enjoyable. I always thought would be really neat is if they did another Marilyn Monroe movie, but it actually was a bit of a spin, and it turned out that she was like an undercover spy. I thought that would be a very interesting role. Like she had to get into this, like, oh, I'll be a model and I'll do these different things. Now I'm in the mill, or I get into the government. And
yeah,
I think
you know, speaking of a Marilyn Monroe movie, my producer actually, he loves Marilyn Monroe. My producer Gabe, who helped me produce my album, he wrote a book about Marilyn Monroe called The Lost Diaries, and it really talks about everything that like Marilyn went through from like beginning to end.
Wow.
And talks about her diaries and like everything. So it's actually kind of in the works to be made into a film.
Okay.
So yeah, so
Hey,
he's
he's already
talking to a
got
couple
someone.
of different.
Maybe.
Yeah, I was gonna say, breakout role.
I know, I was like, please, but I wrote a song for the movie, so I'm hoping they said that they would try to incorporate that song into the movie. But yeah, so it would be amazing because I feel like there's not really like a lot of movies that really talk about her real life story and like really what she went through. So I feel like that'd be such an interesting movie. I feel like people love that. That'd be really cool.
Definitely an interesting character and an interesting time as well. So.
Oh yeah, the time period, everything was just so different but interesting.
Mm-hmm. Now, just to go back to the music a little bit, can you tell us a little bit more about your influence behind Damaged?
A lot, a lot of different things. Starting with, I guess I would say, each song kind of covers a different topic. I would say so. A lot of it could be about like loss, depression, heartbreak. You know, a lot of that kind of thing. I would say probably because, I don't know, I went through a lot of stuff, I guess, in my life, and I've seen other people go through a lot of things. And like I said, I just feel like music is a great way to connect people. And I just took a lot of my life experiences and kind of just turned it into music. So I think, you know, it will definitely be something that people would be able to relate to, you know, and kind of connect with. But
okay,
what's your favorite song on your album coming up? Just your personal, as an artist, favorite.
Definitely Damaged.
Yeah,
definitely Damaged. You know why? Because it's something that's could be taken any way. It could be heartbreak, it could be depression, it could be anxiety, it could be anything, you know. And I feel like it's something that people, well, at least most people, could find something in the song to be just like, hey, I felt that, you know, there's a part of me that is damaged, and there's a part of me that will always be damaged. But you know, I don't want to let that ruin my life. I want to still pursue my dreams. I still want to pursue my goals. I still want to do the best I can to be the best I can. You know what I mean? And so I think it's a good message, you know, because it's talking about, yeah, like I get it. Like I'm not okay. I have a broken heart. I'm damaged, but I'm still going to try to live life the best way I can and not give up. Because a lot of people, I guess, sometimes they want to give up or throw in the towel when things get really bad. But it's a good motivational song, I think, you know?
Yeah, for sure. And I really loved it. I mean, it sounds amazing.
Thank you.
You know, you've got a wonderful feel of almost some Adele in there. And
thank you. I love Adele.
I was going to ask, are you influenced by Adele? And who would you?
I would say so. I've listened to her basically like my whole life. When I think her first album came out when I was maybe 10, I'm not too sure, maybe like 9 or 10, I'm not too sure, but man, she's incredible. So I definitely have had a lot of influence from her.
Well, and you can see because I mean, there's so much feeling in this song, and
Yeah, there is.
and Adele, I think, is another character that there's so much passion in what she sings and how
It
she
is.
sings
People,
that,
yeah, it's
you know,
something
it brings people
really
to tears
feel.
sometimes just listening to her voice, and
I know, she's
you
beautiful.
know, and I definitely think that you are on that same level with your song, and
Thank you.
it does definitely reach out and it pulls on the heartstrings. So it's
Thank you. I
very,
appreciate
very cool.
that.
I look forward to hearing it on the full album and hearing what else you have that's going on that.
Thank you. Yeah, it'll be exciting. I'm excited. It's gonna be cool.
Cool. In the meantime, do we want to play our 20 questions here, Matty G?
Yeah, let's kick it off. I think
Right on.
I think this will be a lot of fun, and yeah, I'm excited to hear some of these answers.
Perfect. So Maddie's got 20 quick questions, and
Well,
there's no right or wrong answers. These are just a little bit to kind of get to know you a little bit better. And if they make you think of something or something funny along the way, do please tell us. So
okay.
all right.
All right,
So the best I can.
let's kick it off. So, question number 1: what made-up word would you register into the English language?
Made up word. Funner? Isn't funner like not a real word?
It's not, but that's a
not.
good one because a lot of people use it and it's not.
I
So
say that
that's-
a lot, and people are like, "That's not a real word." I'm like,
Yeah.
"No, what do you mean? It makes
Yeah,
sense, you know." Like I always say, "Oh, you know, that's funner," but
Yeah.
No, they're all like, it's more fun. You're like, no, it's funner. Okay, yeah, I love that one.
because I say funner a lot, so funner.
I love it.
I like
love
it. Good.
What is the scariest dream that you can remember?
Oh, the scariest dream. I would say I probably got attacked by like a really scary clown.
Oh, that's a good one.
Probably.
I
Like
don't
I
like
still
clowns.
remember it to this day. It was like horrifying. It was really scary. It was like I think I went into like a house or something, and like a really horrifying clown lived there, and yeah, it killed me. So that wasn't cool.
Yeah. No,
Damn it.
clowns are wretched creatures. I can't stand them.
Me too.
Clowns
I agree.
horrify me. That's the one thing that I am so terrified of is clowns.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan either.
Yeah. You know
No.
what?
Ever since I watched it.
Yeah, I was gonna say. I think we talked about.
I
this
watched it. I
when we
hated that
did
movie. I didn't watch part 2. I couldn't. I was like, no. I
Yep.
couldn't do it.
Pass. That's
Oh, yeah.
awesome.
It was horrible.
Pass on the clown.
What superpower would you pick?
To fly.
Nice.
Okay.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
That's mine.
Yeah. Okay,
Um,
that's mine. That's weird.
what's yours?
Super speed. The
Oh
flash.
yeah,
That's
Super
the best
speed's pretty
power in the
awesome.
world.
Or you know what? Being invisible. Actually, I don't know. It's a tie between being able to fly and being invisible. Because invisible, you can kind of do anything you want to do.
But Tony, would you take super speed over teleportation?
Yes.
Really?
Really?
You know what? I've thought about this because I really do like.
It's not about the destination; it's about the journey.
Well,
Is
no,
that- is that what
for
you're gonna
me,
say?
So if you ever look at the Flash character, one of the things I love about him is, you know, first of all, yeah, he's got the speed. He's super fast, right? He can go almost anywhere. The guy can literally move so fast that he can actually move forward and backwards in time. He can actually move so fast that he actually rearranges his molecules so he can pass through solid objects.
Okay, so that makes a little bit more sense now. I get it. I get it.
Right. And then and the thing I love most about the Flash is his metabolism burns so fast that he actually has to eat a lot of food and he doesn't get fat. I'm like, I'm sold.
Pretty sweet.
Okay, I'm sold too now.
See, there you go.
Okay, I had this argument, and I had to bring this up the other day with somebody.
Yep.
So, but what if, right, when you're the Flash,
Mhm.
your perception of time, because you are so fast, doesn't change. And so realistically, you're still putting in the effort of running 100 miles, but it just seems faster to everybody else. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because if you're thinking faster, like if you are faster and you're thinking faster, your perception of that time will be like a normal person taking a 100-kilometer jog.
Yeah.
That sucks. I don't want to run as my superpower.
I hate running in general, so I don't.
Right?
Well, that's why I like it. 'Cause I'm
Flying?
actually a really bad runner, right?
Yeah, I think I would do flying because then it's like really not a lot.
I'll take flying and teleportation.
Really? Because I mean, flying, you just get a bunch of bugs in your teeth. You hit planes. You hit birds. You miss a.
Yeah, it's like a sense
know.
of freedom, you know? It's like freedom. It's like I could fly. Like I could
Yeah.
do whatever.
Tony, no one wants to be the
Water.
best at exercising. Quit trying to sell us on this.
Yeah, no. I'm kind of lazy, so I would go with the line.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I'm
I
with
think
you.
I keep going for the complete opposite of what I am, I guess.
Love it. Arrow, what activity makes you the happiest?
Playing piano.
Nice.
Playing piano. I love music. I love music. So
Music, piano, got it.
Mhm.
What foreign language would you most like to learn?
Ooh, probably Spanish because I am Spanish. So I'm half Puerto Rican and Spanish. So I can speak Spanish. I would love to speak Spanish because half my family speaks Spanish and I can't talk to them. So Spanish.
Cool. No, that's
the
awesome.
worst when you're sitting around like the dinner table with the extended family and they start speaking Spanish and you're like, are they talking about
My whole life, my grandmother, like they fluent Spanish, and because Spanish was their first language, English was their second, so they mostly spoke Spanish. So growing up, I couldn't talk to them, and it was like I felt so bad because I love them and I wanted to speak the language so bad, but I just never could learn. Never could learn it.
I think it's good. I think it's I mean, especially down in the US, it's actually more important than like it's up here.
Yeah, I mean, it's helpful. I feel like so many people speak Spanish, and
Exactly.
yeah, I would love to.
Yeah, and just imagine like you could branch your singing into Spanish if you wanted to. Then you're hitting multiple markets.
Because I am Puerto Rican.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I could, but maybe someday I'll try to learn.
Yeah.
Yeah, like
Duolingo, something to do when you're on the road or something.
True. Yeah, I'm gonna really start learning again because I want to.
Yeah.
My daughter started learning Russian for some reason. I have absolutely no clue why. And she went with one of the most difficult languages to try for her.
That's hard. My friend speaks Russian. Oh my god, it sounds so.
It's such an angry language.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
interesting. So I can never tell. I think she's done it just so that she can say things at me really, really mad, and I won't understand what she's saying.
And she's actually saying like, "You look amazing today."
Yeah, exactly.
Nice. If you could pick a decade to live in, which would you pick?
Oh, that's a tough one. I don't know. I would have to say maybe the 80s.
Cool.
Such
Yeah,
a
that's my
I
favorite
love
too.
the 80s. I love the 90s too, but probably the 80s.
80s.
I still think the 80s had some of the best music. I mean, it was a big
Hell yeah.
right? Early
the
90s.
best music, the best music.
Yeah.
I liked the fashion, honestly, in the 80s. I just
Yeah.
thought everything was like everything just seemed so fun back then. Everything just like the times were I don't know. It just like the fashion, the music, I just feel like it was unbeatable, but
Super colored shirts and Varney.
yeah,
A lot of hairspray. I love it.
Yeah, big
it's a
hair.
vibe.
Yeah,
The
Yeah.
80s are a vibe.
yeah. 80s were fantastic. I love the 80s. So.
Super important question. Toilet paper flap inside or outside?
Inside.
I was gonna say, I think you have to explain that.
Really?
Over
I think
the
I
roll
put it
or
on the
under the roll?
inside.
So on over the roll or under the roll?
I think I put it under the roll.
Yes.
Is that
You-
bad? I don't know.
So the reason why I think this is a great answer, being under the roll, is and this is because
Over the
again,
roll,
I had
it doesn't look right to me. I
it
don't know.
doesn't.
Honestly, it's a 50-50 thing, and I asked because it's so funny because it's everybody has a different answer.
It just
It's true. But I think this is the biggest battle, right? And it's very rare to find women who do it the way I like it, where it's under the roll. Because in my mind,
Oh, you do it under the roll too?
Oh, he froze. Yeah, he does.
Oh, he does.
And I always give him shit for it because I do over the roll, and it's so weird. And I'm like, I can't think back to the time when I'm like, where did I learn this behavior, and why do I do this?
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know. I think I have to go with under. The
Under.
roll.
That's
That's
definitely
fair.
Yep.
I mean, I hate it, but whatever. No. What was the first movie that ever made you cry?
Oh, we're going way back. We're going way back. Oh, God. I would probably say Edward Scissorhands.
Ooh,
I'm a big Tim Burton fan. So I love all of his movies. So I'd probably say Edward Scissorhands or Corpse Bride. I'm not too sure. I'm going back to like when I was a kid.
You're a real Burton fan.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. A big Tim Burton fan. Yeah, I'd
Yeah.
probably say maybe Edward Scissorhands because the ending just killed me. It broke my heart. It broke. I still cry every time I watch the movie.
Yeah, that was a super sad movie, wasn't it? Look at this now. Maddie's frozen. Look at this face. This is great.
Oh, yeah.
This is a great picture for him to freeze in. It's like that gibbon monkey thing.
You know? Oh my god!
If you ever watch, there's a new movie out there that's called Mitchell versus the Machines, and it's really, really funny. And
really?
the dad character pulls this face, and the girl says, "I'd like to mention at this point, this is like the gibbon monkey I've seen on YouTube."
Oh, we lost them, I think. Did we lose them?
He'll be back. Yeah, he must have had some computer issue. Do want to give a shout out to Diane, who's of course really loving the podcast, and we really love you.
Oh, hi, Diane.
Hi. So Maddie will be back with a few more questions, I'm sure.
I like the questions. The questions are cool.
Good. And that's we always like. It's a little bit different, right? I mean, people will always ask the same questions about your career and everything. Where people don't.
Sometimes it can get a little boring. Sometimes the fun questions are just like more interesting.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think they're definitely a little bit. Just a little bit more real than the career. Anybody can look up a profile online and see. Now, I will say you're at that stage in your life where you have clearly kept your life very much on the down low when it comes to social media and profile.
Yeah, I'm not really a big social media person. I don't know.
Yeah, that's good. I mean, honestly, I mean, it sounds bad for me to say I don't really care too much for social media, but I mean,
don't get me wrong. I like it because it does connect people, but sometimes I think one, it could be very bad for your mental health. Two, I think it could be a little toxic, and three, I feel like a lot of people live their life these days through social media. And I just feel like I don't want to live my life through social media, on Twitter, on Facebook. Like, there's just so much in life, like going back to the 80s, like before social media. I feel like people just really lived life back then. And today everything is like on the phone. It's like addictive. So I just try to like pull it back a little bit and not be so into social media.
And the most amazing thing about the 80s is I remembered every one of my friends' phone numbers. I remember my social security number. I knew my bank card number. I knew everything. Now I can't even remember my own phone number. Like, it's absolutely horrible because it's there at my fingertips, right? So when someone says, "Hey, what's your phone number?" I'm like, I don't know. I don't call myself all that often, actually. So.
Yeah, it's just, because everyone has their phone on them. It's just like, I don't know. I just find it a little bit addictive and
way too much. Yeah,
I don't know, like I said, I really want to try to live my life, really like actually living my life, and not look back someday and be like, oh, like I was so obsessed with Facebook and Twitter and Instagram and all these things, I didn't really like experience other things, I don't know. Sure. That's just how I feel about it.
Welcome back, Maggie.
Yeah, sorry about that. Apparently we're getting a storm, so there's some ISP issues. Yeah, it's got a pretty good rainstorm, so sorry about that. But we can, if you don't mind, I can jump back in. Did you guys sidebar on the 80s or?
No, we were just doing a little side conversation while we were.
All right, cool. Well, I'll jump right into the next one then. So, Arrow, do you believe in aliens?
Hell yeah. Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Right on.
Good answer.
I really, because how do you really, it's not something you could say like, oh no, they definitely don't exist. How do you know? Yes. Well, like, you know what I mean? Like, so I feel like it's better to be a little bit open-minded about it because there has to be other stuff out there. Right?
Yeah, it's a great answer.
The odds of us being the only thing in the entire galaxy, like, come on.
I don't buy it. I definitely feel like there's aliens.
Yeah.
I really.
What are the odds, right? Nobody else has some form of life on their planet. Like,
I don't know. I mean, I feel like they're out there,
Yeah.
Cool. How if you had $100 million right now, how would you spend it?
$100 million.
Yeah,
that's a lot of money.
Lavishly.
Live lavishly. I don't know. I would say I would spend the money more on experiences instead of material things. I don't know. I just feel like material things, that like rush of excitement goes away very quick, but memories and experiences, and like people, that lasts forever. You know what I mean? So if I could do things with people or to help people or, spend it on traveling, maybe I would just rather, like I said, do things more experiences than material things. Like, I don't think I'd go crazy buying like bags and clothes and stuff because that's all temporary. Like that stuff, that rush of excitement goes away a couple of days after you have it. So it's not that thrilling as it would be to remember something really special, you know.
Cool.
So
That's a great answer.
Yeah, that's just, I would rather do experiences than material.
Absolutely.
Yeah. No, it's great. You know, we've often had this conversation about the fact that A, you can't take it with you, but B, you can either be you know, rich and save your money but never experience life, or you use your money and experience life, and at the end of it be like, you know, I may not have a lot, but the things I've seen and the things that I've done, then you're rich with experience, right? So
right, because all that material stuff, it sits on the shelf. You know what I mean? Like that expensive Louis Vuitton, it sits on the shelf. Like it's not thrilling anymore. It's not exciting anymore. It's not really that exciting of a memory. You know, it's just so I would rather do
no one ever just says like, hey, remember that time I bought that Louis Vuitton?
That's what I mean.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's
yeah. Unless like you got robbed and you fought the perp off and you know what I mean? And there was a story behind it, then it's different.
Yeah.
But you're right. Experiences are where the value is at, I think.
Right. So yeah, but definitely.
I see the flip side of that, Maddie. I think Ashley would turn around and be like, hey, remember that time you bought me the Louis Vuitton?
True.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Like, I do provide the whole experience, Tony. So
yeah, exactly.
Arrow, are you left or right-handed?
Right-handed.
Nice. Perfect. So you're normal. I like it.
I would say normal, but
Tony's left-handed. That's what I'm teasing. Yeah. So, all right. What's your biggest pet peeve? What gets on your nerves?
Oh, what gets on my nerves? That's a good question. I don't know.
It's got to be something that drives you nuts. You live in New York. Is it traffic?
It could be traffic. I would say it could be traffic, or maybe like really slow drivers.
Yeah.
But don't you get used to that? Don't you just like, you go out the door, you're like, all right, get over.
I'm a little bit of a speeder, so I would say maybe really slow drivers bug me just a tad bit, but you shouldn't.
And by slow, you mean just people doing the speed limit, apparently, for you?
Maybe.
Nice.
You know, it's really funny because my wife drives a certain speed that she's often said that if she had like the hand of God, it's like she wouldn't just reach up and part the traffic so she could drive. She would actually like start winging cars off the 401. And I'm like, aren't you kind of going a little far with this? She's like, no, I'm getting pissed off. This guy is driving way too slow. I just want to take my finger and like flick and like.
Yeah, it's not even a question of efficiency at this point. It's a statement.
No, because my dad drives so slow, and I get so angry sometimes when he drives because, I mean, he's an under the speed limit guy.
Oh,
so like if we're on the highway doing like 65 speed limit, he'll do like 50 something. And I'm like,
jeez.
You're like, we're never gonna get there.
It's natural for you to want to rebel.
Flashing their lights, and I'm like, Dad, speed up. I'm like screaming at him in the car. And he's like, no, he's like, what's the rush? I'm like, you're doing 58 in a 65. like, I'm like, why? That bugs me. So
there you go. There's your pet peeve. Dad's driving.
Alrighty. What is the best thing that you've ever eaten?
Oh man, I love chocolate. I love chocolate. I don't know. I love anything chocolate. So like maybe like chocolate cake or something, or I don't know. Yeah, I would say something.
That's a good answer. Chocolate cake. I don't think we've had it as like top tier, but I've had some great chocolate cake. So I back you.
Like a gourmet chocolate cake. I don't know. Definitely something chocolate. Because
Matty G's lucky because his mom is like a baker. She makes like
the
coolest cakes.
Oh
yeah. I'm so lucky, Tony. I'll have diabetes by the time I'm 40.
We'll cry over your grave eating cake.
Okay,
that your mom brought. No.
All right, cool. Yeah. Perfect. Right on. And the most important question we have for you now, the last question.
Okay.
What is your favorite podcast that you've been on in the last 12 hours?
I mean, is that even a question? This podcast, of course. Obviously, that's not even a question.
Good answer. Good answer.
Yeah,
definitely
we'll
top tier podcast. I wouldn't want to be on anybody else's, honestly. This is
we'll remember that. Make sure that you're not on anybody else now. We'll just have to keep coming back.
Yeah, I got it please have me back.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. I mean, definitely, we'd love to follow up with you after your album releases. And
Thank you guys. Yeah, like I
things are
said, I
going.
think like mid-July. I want to say mid-July.
What are you doing? Are you doing the full platform run? So like Apple Music, Spotify,
Apple Music, Amazon Music, all the platforms, all the platforms. So.
Cool. Excellent. Well, definitely you have to make sure that you drop us a message and a link when your songs are up. Because what we'd love to do is, of course, get you up on the guest section of our website. And for our listeners who are on the road, not listening to the live feed of this show, we will put you up under there, as well as some links to social media and how to get that album. But before we do so, how about you let people know where they can find you on social media, even though you are very scarce?
My Instagram, it's at Amanda Rose O'Connor. I wanted to get the Arrow handle, but someone has it, so maybe someday I'll get lucky, get the Arrow handle.
But at the moment they slip up and forget to renew.
Yep.
I know. I don't know. It's like an account that's not even active, and I'm like,
that's messed up.
Yeah. You know what? If that's the case, I think you should appeal it. I think you should write in to be like, hey, this account isn't even active. I would like this, because when
I would really appreciate the Arrow handle. I would,
or just do what the Joshes did and invite all the arrows out, and you can battle.
How many arrows could there really? I mean, come on. I mean, it's like, Arrow really, like, how many could there be?
You know what? As long as they're one, you just have to beat one. That's all.
Yeah, there you go. You could be the one true arrow.
You're right.
That's right. I like that. No, that's very cool. And do you have you set up a website yet?
Not yet. It's actually in the works, so it should be all done. It's going to be arrowmusic.info.
Okay.
So that will be up probably in July when the music comes out. So
arrowmusic.info. Link to the music as well on your website?
Yes, yeah, I'll have the links and everything, and I'll be on Spotify, Apple Music, all that stuff.
Amazing, excellent. Well, we've loved having you on the show. We really appreciate you.
Thank you, guys. I appreciate you having me. Thank you.
Yeah. I hope you had fun.
I did. I had a lot of fun. So thank you, guys.
Wonderful, thank you. And again, we'll definitely love to circle back around after the album launch, and you can tell us how things are going with the sales and what you are doing, because I have no doubt that this will kick off really, really well for you. And no doubt you're going to be playing Marilyn Monroe in the next movie because of all this. So,
you never know. You never know. I hope so. I hope.
Well, we hope for you as well.
Thanks,
excellent. Well, we appreciate it again, and we hope to see you, and have yourself a wonderful evening.
Thank you. You too, guys. Have a good night.
You too. Take care.
Bye.
Bye.